In the angel video, I said that I would show a way to use up the waste material. Now this is the first shape that I came up with, although there are lots of possibilities here. The main point is that the waste material is still very usable. I like this shape, but wondered how it would look if it was tall and narrow. As you can see here, I've made a permanent pattern using a copper blank that is 1.5 inches wide and 3.5 inches in length. Scribing around the permanent pattern, and then cutting out the shape with a pair of sheet metal shears. Nipping off the corners at the top with the aviation snips, and then rounding off the top and any rough edges with a file. Or like here, I'm using a sanding tube on a die grinder. Center punch and drill the hole. Using the wire brush on the motor, I can smooth out the edges all around. And since the copper is a soft material, I can actually bevel the edges by bearing down on the wire brush. Annealing, and as always, moving the torch flame around so that I don't burn a hole in the copper. Peening the copper with a ball peen hammer. The goal here is light reflection. Each of the peen marks reflects light in a slightly different direction. Here I have this curve, which is a nice shape in itself, but if I want it flat, I can put it between two boards and hit it with a mallet. Using the mason's broad chisel to make a lengthwise indentation. And this one is not quite centered, so I'll place the chisel at an angle and see if that gets it centered. Now that doesn't always work, but it did work this time. And here is another copper blank that has been annealed and peened and then annealed again. The copper is soft from annealing, and I can form it around this pipe with just my thumbs. Using a small hammer, I can further shape this piece, and at the same time, the hammer blows will harden the copper. I can keep this shape, or I can use a pair of needle nose and fold out these sides. Here are 5 different designs coming from just one basic shape. Now these first 2 I sanded. The center one I left curved and wire brushed. These 2 on the right have been buffed. This is a quick example of what can be done with one basic shape.